So you may have noticed our guest has arrived. This is Cristina Lorefice.
Yes.
Whose fantastic new workshop is called The Peacock Principle, which is, as I understand it, a revolutionary new way of looking at relationships. And she says on her website, the Peacock Principle will give you the tools to regain your inner power, deal with any current and recurrent relationships dramas, divert the attention from men and put them on hold, amongst many other things. Sounds very exciting. So welcome, Cristina.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming into the studio, and I'm really excited to hear a little bit more about it. So first of all, though, perhaps just tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into all this.
Okay, I am a qualified person-centered counsellor, and the idea came to me when I went to the Natural History Museum, and there was an exhibition on sexual nature. So it got me thinking, because the male was the pursuer, and we all
in
know
the animal kingdom,
and in the animal kingdom,
right.
And the female was the selector, and it made a lot of sense to me, because when I looked at the black widow and the praying mantis insects, they kill their mates after they mate.
Pretty,
I'm sure you've heard.
Great finale to
Yes.
you know, a beautiful thing.
Yes. Yes. But so I chose the peacock because I thought I don't want to choose an insect as an example. So I thought, you know, the peacock is quite appealing, and it's got all
It's
the
a lovely
feathers.
image, isn't it?
It's got a lovely image.
And you've got a lovely picture of that on your website, haven't you?
Yes. 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 So then I thought, I observed that, and then my observation went further, because I compared it to the human world, and I thought, okay, the peacock, or the male in the human world, pursues the female,
Yes.
but then something happens when the dynamic switches when you go in a relationship, because what happens then is that the male stops pursuing in a way, and the female becomes the pursuer. Because when I say pursuing, the female pursues, it's because female start to over please, over nurture, and so that turns then into sacrifice.
Yes.
And when we sacrifice, we lose our power.
Yes.
So it's all about going back to the natural instinct of the female and touching base with the nature, you know, and staying the selector, and knowing that we got to be in power, and we can retain the power by not over pleasing, not over nurturing, and think about ourselves, putting yourself first. And when you put yourself first, you attend to yourself, the relationship is a healthier relationship.
Yes. Which goes against a lot of what the image of putting yourself first is somehow that you're selfish. But it's
Absolutely.
a bit like, I would say, it's when they tell you on the plane that when you have your child with you.
Totally, I use that a lot as an example. Yeah.
Well, you say that,
yeah.
you give that example.
Well, you know when the oxygen masks come down and it says, please put the mask yourself first before you help anyone else. And it's funny you mention that, because I use that a lot. I use that metaphor.
Maybe I got it from you. No, maybe you said it to me and I remembered it now.
But whatever, it's
Yes.
a very good metaphor. You have to attend to yourself first if you want to be of any use or of any help
to anybody else. Because if you haven't got any oxygen, you're going to die, and then the child would perish as well.
Yeah, and then you have no energy left.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, so it's a very interesting concept. Okay, well we're going to have another Cristina, who has a new workshop that I believe you're actually hosting at the end of the month in Hertford. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Do you want to give the details out to people?
Absolutely. It's Saturday the 30th of June and Sunday the 1st of July, starting at 12 o'clock and ending at 6 p.m.
Right. And whereabouts is that?
It's at the Seed Warehouse, The Wash, Hertford, SG14 1PX. Now you've got the whole address.
And do you want to just say, I mean, it's 2 days, and I understand there's a special offer on at the moment, that if people book now, that they can get a special deal, is that right?
That's correct, yes. I'm offering a half price deal for £70 for the 2 days.
Wow.
Instead of £140.
That is a bargain.
Yes, that's really good.
So there's limited numbers, isn't there? So people really, if they want to go, I guess they need to book it up.
Yeah.
So they go onto your website, is that right?
Yes.
And what is the website?
It's www.thepeacockprinciple.com.
Right, okay.
And you'll find all the details there about the workshop, the address and the booking forms.
Right. Okay, well, that's great. Okay, so tell us a little bit more about what to expect on the workshop.
Yes, I look a lot at the balance between the giving and receiving in the relationship dynamics. And what's happened, I think, is that because we women are used to give,
yes,
you know, and we have to look after families, and we've been doing this for centuries. So to step back and receive, sometimes it can be quite a task.
Yeah.
Just to sit back and relax. And my mantra is it takes a very confident woman to do nothing.
Yes.
But that's a very challenging thought because
people don't generally understand that. But it is very, I mean, it's personally for me, I totally understand that challenge.
Yeah.
For me, because receiving, you have to give up control.
Absolutely.
That's the other thing.
Absolutely.
And that's hard.
Very hard. And you made a very important point because when we receive, we have to trust ourselves that we're going to receive.
Yes.
And you have to trust the other.
Yes.
And you have to let go.
Yes.
But you see, the giving is manipulative in a way. Because it can be. Because when you keep giving, keep nurturing, keep doing, keep pleasing, you want to keep control of the situation. By sitting back and allowing the moment to unfold, you have to trust yourself, and so that can be quite a challenge. But once, and I give the tools to do that in the workshop, but once you do trust yourself, it's all about trusting yourself, then things start to happen, like a miracle. So,
tell me more.
Yeah, well, I do some processes in the workshop that I don't really want to share right now. If I do share them, then the ladies who choose to come.
And it is ladies only, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yes, it's ladies only.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's about looking at the dynamic of the relationship and what you can do to take charge. Because a lot of the time we like to point the finger, don't we, and say, it's your fault. You are not listening. You're just reading the paper.
Yes.
You're not bringing me flowers anymore. You're not saying that you love me anymore.
Yes.
We do that, don't we?
Oh. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt.
Right, yeah. So it's about allowing yourself to receive. Because in nature, actually, that's what happens. The man is the giver, the woman is the receiver, and even sexually, that's what happens. Metaphorically. But
and quite literally.
Yeah, and literally. But something changes then. We become, the percentage of giver and receiver changes. And so that's when things go out of balance. Because then what happens, the man becomes passive aggressive. And he doesn't even understand why. He is confused because something's changed. He doesn't know why. But it's because this dynamic changes.
I suppose this does beg the question, because I'm thinking through all my old relationships. Some men, are not big on the wanting to give anyway, so they will hook up with someone who totally takes care of them because they actually are not interested in that sort of giving role themselves.
Yes.
So they want someone to just run the whole thing, don't they?
Absolutely.
So you might actually find out that, this person is a bit of a dead loss.
Yes, well then what you have to do, you have to walk away.
Yeah.
You gotta make a choice and say, well, this is not working, I'm going somewhere else where I can receive.
Yes.
But it's very important to be in touch with that feminine side of receiving.
Yes. Oh, I absolutely.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, is this do you have a spiritual aspect to this? Is it spiritual or is it actually just psychodynamic? Sort of?
It's a lot person-centered, I would say, but it's a lot to do with, in a way you could call it spiritual, because it's looking at ourselves and looking at our own energies.
Yes.
And you know, the female and male energy, and how over century we have come from becoming too much feminine into our feminine energy, then tipping over now into too much male energy. You know, there's a lot of career women and a lot of CEO directors, and what happens is that there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But I think that we slightly lose our feminine energy because we have to make decisions at work. We have to stay focused. We have to keep thinking, finding solutions. So that is a lot to do with male energy.
Yes.
You know, men do that.
Yes.
A lot more than we do. So we kind of lose, when we go home, we're still with our professional suit.
Yes.
And we forget to take it off and say, actually, I want to be a woman now. I want to take a hot bath. I want him to light my candles, prepare dinner, and spoil me. But we don't. So we come home, we're tired, we nag, we start to say, well, why didn't you do the dishes? Why didn't you do that? This is a mess. You didn't take my, you know, clothes to the cleaner, and all of that. And so then again, the dynamic is not quite right.
So you're sort of saying that because you have this thing not allowing yourself to receive, you promote the sort of the dissatisfaction because you're not in a position to promote them giving to you.
Totally, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's tremendous.
Yes.
Well, you do it yourself then.
Yeah, then do it, yeah.
Right.
That's what they say.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Okay. So much of what you're saying is, you know,
Yeah.
as I say, I've been there and bought the T-shirt because I think I don't know. Yeah, maybe it probably is a very common problem, but I am definitely. I've had to work so hard to learn how to receive.
It's very hard.
It's
very hard.
It is because it's been, you know, if all your relationships have been a letdown,
Yeah.
which they from your father onwards,
Absolutely.
then there's a whole. You've got to learn a whole new set
Yeah.
of tools
Yeah.
and ways of feeling.
Yes. And feeling, absolutely, because you know, once you start to receive, especially like I say, when you used to give,
Yeah.
it may feel awkward to just
Yeah.
test the new waters, you know. Suddenly you're like, oh my god, this feels awkward. I'm not used to that.
Yes.
So yes, you're right. It's about having new feelings and establishing new behaviors and new patterns.
Great.